Hello and welcome for another video. This is TobiTCG and I want today talk about the Opus 6 pre-release and which cards should you pick. So the presentation is, of course, you should build a very good deck with 40 cards with just your 6 boosters, and yeah, 6 boosters, 12 cards are in each booster, so you get amount of 72 cards, and yeah, just put the right cards in your deck and the other maybe aside. Also, a good to know is you can't use the guy promo, and yeah, the pre-release is from the 7th, but yeah, there's also the Magic pre-release, so in some stores it goes until next Saturday, the pre-release. So the important thing is you can play backups for any CP color, and yeah, you play a 3, 4 or 5 color deck, mostly just with your 40 cards, and you should build around 14 until 16 backups and 24 and 20 or maybe 26 for the other cards. For the other cards, there are the monsters, the summons, and the forwards. So let's go. The best points, just if the pre-release begins, just sort your cards into the colors, and maybe you can also we are looking also later in multicolor color cards. Yeah, I see it, there's a error, and just looking for a good mid-range deck, so just have a look at good power, good CP creep, and also for removals, because maybe your opponent plays a very good card and you have no good answer. Ooh, that's hard to handle this. So I want to go through all the cards and just rate it with tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 is, yeah, I should pick that. It's very good. Tier 2 is, yeah, it's good. It's a very good card for my deck. Tier 3, yeah, that's okay. And yeah, let's start it. We just to say there are also the evokers in Opus 6, so each color gets an Opus 1 drop also in Opus 6, so there's a reprint. And yeah, don't forget, we rate only for limited. This is not for constructed, this is just for limited, for the pre-release, if you want to battle, if you want to fight with the others, and just which card is good in your pre-release. So first, the evoker and summoners, they're just good for CP fixing, not mana fixing like in MTG. Yeah, just good. It's a 1 CP guy. You can play it. But yeah, I would say it's tier 3 because there are a lot of other backups there have some effects. But maybe you get also the wind character, or maybe the wind backup where you can search the 1 CP summoner evoker, but it's very rare maybe to get it. So we begin with the Fire Legends, and we have at the Legends with Garland and Firion. And yeah, we get Garland. I would say it's a tier 2, maybe a tier 1, not sure, because 5 CP, 9000, yeah, that's very good, but it's a legend, so very hard to get it. And if you control a job princess, all knights getting brave, so there are also not much knights, there are also not much princes, so just 5 CP, 9000, very rare with the legend, but just pick it, it's tier 2. We have also Firion with 4 CP, 8000, that's very good, that's the standard. And if you control a rebel forward, that can maybe happen. And then Firion costs 2, so 2 CP, 8000, that's very good, that's very fast. And if our opponent controls 3 or more forwards, he gains 1000 power and haste, so 9000 power haste Also, the best case is 9000 haste just for 2 CP, and you can put one backup into the break zone until the end of turn. He gains First Strike and Brave, so yeah, definitely maybe in the pre-combat phase, because Brave, yeah, you want it. It's very good, just pick it, it's must-have tier 1. So we have at the next the fire heroes, so we have Guy with 3 CP, 7000 Brave, and for each category 2 character other than Guy, you control Guy gains 2000 power. When Guy is put from the field into the break zone, activate all forwards you control. Yeah, I would say it's not tier 2, it's between tier 1 and tier 2, so I would say, yeah, but maybe more tier 2, because there are a lot of other interesting cards. They are also good, but yeah, you should definitely play Guy, and yeah, just play it. We have also Kaluna, where you can deal more damage and something, and you search for a fire summon. Yeah, the problem is there's only one fire summon, one really good fire summon with 4 CP, the rest is, yeah, forgettable. So, morally tier 3, in most cases it's useless, so just look at it, but mostly put it aside. Dark Lord is just okay with 3 CP, 8000, very good power creep. Yeah, you must mill, but yeah, you can also deal damage. There may be some combos and something else, so you can deal maybe with your other cards. So I would say the Dark Lord is tier 2. There's also Mont Blanc, where you deal 2000 damage for each category FFTA forward you control. Yeah, they're not much FFTA, they're just Evan, Raptor, Dragoon, they're not so much, guys. They're but it's okay for mana fixing. It's a 2 CP backup, and I would say it's tier 3. Next we have the fire rares. First is Zell with 4000 power and 4 CP. Yeah, it has also haste, and you can deal 4000 damage and maybe break a monster. So I would say it's tier 3. Not very good because it's costing 4 CP, but maybe you can remove something so it can be better. The next one is Ruby Dragon. So Ruby Dragon is a monster where you can deal 8000 damage. Simply okay. It's just like 4 CP, deal 8000 damage. Very good card. Just try it out. Selfie, yeah, seed candidate. When Selfie enters the field, you can search for a seed candidate. The problem is seed candidates, they are not so much. Mostly in fire, ice and lightning. Many of them in ice are hero cards, so not often see this. In lightning or fire, yeah, they are not very good cards. They are maybe Cypher, I guess, and yeah, Zell. So maybe tier 3 if there's some value, but maybe put it aside. So next one is Neo Bahamut. You can only cast it during your main phase, and you can deal 8000 damage, and you must discard all your hand. If you play very aggressive and you play everything from your hand, if you get a very good curve, you can also get play at last Neo Bahamut. Just okay, you can play it if it's your last card in your hand, or also is this, you can also discard this to generate CP. It's good. I would say tier 2 for limited. Next one is Sid. Sid is a 4 CP guy where you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You can put one in your hand, the rest into the break zone, and or maybe all your forwards gain 3000 power. Yeah, that's cool. 3000 power is a lot. Also, if you want to draw a card, it's 2 CP worth. Yeah, maybe there's a problem where you get 2 very good cards and you must discard one of them, so it's is maybe a bit tricky, sometimes mediocre, so I would say tier 3. Next one is Cornelia with 2 CP, just good for mana fixing. All your forwards gain 1000 power until end of turn, return it to your owner's hand just for 1 CP, so maybe okay, you can get it to your own hand just to play it again, buffing all your forwards, or maybe if you want to fixing your pool with the other colors, it can be very good. So I would say tier 3. Now we going to the commons, and there's the Bahamut for 4 CP. You deal 10,000 damage. Yeah, you get 1 point of damage, and the X-Burst didn't get activated, but I would say tier 2, 4 CP, 10,000 damage, that's a lot, and yeah, just play it. Next one is Ward. You buff all your warriors with 2000 power. Yeah, there are not much warriors, but it's simply okay. For the rest, it's 4 CP, 8000 solid stats, tier 2. Next one is Kiros, 2 CP, 5000, that's okay for 2 CP. And you can buff something with 2000 power, and if it's a FF8 forward, it also gains haste, first strike, brave. There are some very good buffs just for 2 CP, 2000 power, very good. You can play the 2000 power on everyone, so it's a very good buff, and you get also the 5000 power guy, so why not? Tier 2. And the Dominion Legendary, or Legionary, you can search for another Legionary and add it to your hand and put it in the break zone, choose one attacking forward, it gains 1000 power. Yeah, I'm not very sure because it's costing 4 CP. If you get maybe 2 or 3 of them, it could be good, but if you only get 1, just put it aside. If you get more, maybe 2 or 3, it's maybe then tier 3, because you can draw and draw more, and Legionary is then 2 CP worth. But there are also some other backups that are more worth. The other commons are Illusionist for 2 CP, and you can put it into the break zone, choose one forward. It must attack this turn if possible, so that's very good in your opponent's turn if you have some very good combat tricks, maybe for summons, something else, or maybe you have a very good forward and you can block it, and yeah, why not? And it's also 2 CP, it's very good for your backups, so tier 2. Yeah, Goblin 2 CP, and for 0 it will be a 5000 power forward, and if it attacks, you can choose one forward and deal 1000 damage. You can only this only once per turn, so I'm not sure if this card very good. There are a lot of more better cards, you know, Kiros who can buff. Yeah, Goblin, okay, you can deal 1000 damage, but this is not enough, and your opponent mostly blocks with another guy, not with the guy who gets the damage, so not very good. Just put it aside. Next one is Warrior with 5 CP, 9000, and if it attacks, the Warrior gains 2000 power until the end of turn, so it's only for this card, so this card only gets 2000 power, so it's then an 11k guy with, yeah, for 5 CP, and that's very good. Hard to block, hard to handle it, or to remove it, so I would say this is a must-have pick. Very good. Next is the Soldier for 3 CP, 7000, and you can buff it for 2 CP plus 1000 power. Not sure, 3 CP is also very stable with 7000, but if you want to pay, not sure, but it's okay. 3 CP, 7000, tier 2. It's just put it maybe in your deck. If you searching for some cards, can be good. Now we are going to the Ice Legends, and there's first Kuja. When it enters the field, you can choose one opponent forward or monster down and freeze it. Yeah, that's okay. Almost 1.5 2 CP worth, and you can put 2 backups in the break zone, return it to your hand. So with a 3 or 4 color deck you cannot maybe use the second effect, so very hard. And yeah, dull it and freeze it, yeah, just okay, but it's a 9000 power creep. I would say it's tier 2. Just try it out. Renoa's 4 CP 7000. Yeah, I would say tier 3 because you remove something to the out of the game and play it onto the field dull. The problem is there are not so much cards where you can play the combo. If you get some, if you are lucky and you get some legendary combos, yeah, but in most cases tier 3. So the ice heroes, yeah, 2 CP Squall, 5000, and if your enemy don't have enough cards, you're getting Buff, Smith, Haste, First Strike, or maybe plus 3000 power. So I would say it's between tier 2 and tier 3, but maybe your enemy or maybe your opponent plays slow, so it's very hard to discard your opponent. So it's in most cases a 2 CP 5000 guy. Yeah, Kurasama also, it's very hard because you can buff your ice forwards, but there are not so much ice forwards and not very good ice forwards. So and 5 CP is very expensive. The big plus is here you can search for Kazusa or maybe Emina, but if you don't draw something, it's not enough. And 5 CP for 7000, there's some better guys. So I would say it's between tier 2 and tier 3. It depends what cards are you picking or maybe you're getting. But more it's tier 3. Laguna, yeah, you can search for a Squall, but 3 CP. Yeah, you get a card minus 2 CP, so worth at it's a 1 CP guy, so you're probably playing slower. And Borgen, yeah, don't think about it. There are some ice rares. Isale, yeah, 4 CP, you can search for ice forward, but the big problem is where are the good ice forwards, so very hard to find it. So you can recycle it with just one other card in your hand, and it's 2 CP worth, so it's okay. It's tier 3. Emina is okay because you can freeze something and you can break something, so you have the essential removal. You must discard another ice card in most cases and 2 CP and dull it and remove it into the break zone. So maybe good for late game, but I would say maybe tier 2, maybe tier 3, something between this, but I would say tier 2 because it's worth the 2 CP, very good for mana CP fixing, and yeah. Also Snow, yeah, if you control Sarah, but Sarah is not in Opus 6, and if you control another 13 forward other than Snow, Snow gains 1 plus 1000 power. There's also, I think, no 13 forward, so it's just a 3 CP 7k guy. Yeah, it's tier 2. It's okay. So hardest is 5 CP. Yeah, it's a bit expensive, but you can break a dull forward. If it's a high cost forward, it's a very good removal, and your opponent must discard 1 card, so that's 2 CP worth, so it's more between 3 and 5 CP removal for anything which is dull. And I'm not sure if there are some cards where your opponent can activate their forwards, so I'm not sure if there are some answers. We can look later at that, but yeah, I would say hardest is morely tier 1, of course. Snow Giant 1 CP, yeah, just forget it. It's maybe a cool filler, but just forget it. Kazusa is very interesting, 5 CP, yeah, very expensive, but it's a backup, and you choose 1 dull forward, deals 10,000 damage, so it's a cool removal, bit expensive, but the second effect also, you can play with it, put it in the break zone, choose 2 forwards, dull them, so that's also a Shiva. Yeah, why not? I would say it's also tier 1 or maybe tier 2, but I like the 10,000 damage. It's mostly removing everything from Opus 6 in the pre-release, so very good answer for that. Ice Commons, yeah, we are now at the Doom Train. Yeah, it's okay, 4 CP, 9000 damage just for a dull guy. Very good removal, and if your opponent have 2 or less cards, or 1 or less card, yeah, of course, it's only costing 2, so just trying out, and yeah, just check it out. The Military Coriol, yeah, it's just a free CP guy for nothing. You get a 5000 power creep, and when it attacks you dull something, so it's like the Opus 1 Snow. It's just okay to get with the other through in, and you dull the opponent's highest attack monster or forward. So yeah, it's okay for free CP, but mostly it's tier 3. Summoner free CP, you put it into the break zone, you can put 2 ice summons into your break zone and add them to your hand. Yeah, that's very hard because you can only pick ice summons, and there are in Opus 6 not so much summons. So in most cases tier 3, yeah. Scholar, you can choose a forward of cost 2 or less, dull than 3, that not very good, but it's 2 CP, so maybe good for color fixing. Yeah, tier 3. Also the Bard, both must discard something. Yeah, I would say it's also tier 3. Sellers, 5000 for 2 CP, that's very okay. But the downside is you must pay 2 ICPs, so you must mostly discard 1 ice card, or yeah, it's hard to pay with your backups with 2 ICPs, so in most cases it's a 2 CP 5000 guy, so it's tier 3. The Shock Trooper is very interesting for CP for 8000, and if it attacks, you break something and the Shock Trooper, and yeah, that's maybe something like a removal. Also, it can block. It's a little wall for you. So for CP 8000, sure, why not? It's tier 2 for me. Lock 4 CP 7000, and you look at the top cards at 1 category 6. So yeah, that's not very good because there are not so much category 6 cards. There's only sellers, I guess, in Opus 6, and so that's definitely not worth for lock. Now we got Tidal Wind Legends and Maria 2 CP 5000, very good card. Yeah, if you get a category 2 forward, you can give it plus 2000 power, you can deal damage, or maybe the next damage deal is reduced by 3000, and the last effect is maybe worth it to say, yeah, it's definitely tier 2. Zidane is also 7k guy, cannot be chosen by abilities, by opponent's abilities, and if your opponent discards a card, you can choose 1 wind character activated. Yeah, that's can maybe happen in a 3, 4, 5 color deck. Yeah, but the last effect is very good. If you attack, you can look at the opponent's hand and choose 1 forward and discard it. So you can pick the big guys from your opponent's hand. They're discarding it, the 8k, 9k guys. So definitely worth it for 4 CP, and it's, yeah, 7000 seems okay for me, so definitely tier 1. Next one are the heroes, and yeah, Leon is, well, you give it to your opponent, and if you play another Final Fantasy II character, you get it back. But if Leon are your only one, maybe you have 2 or 3 in your deck with Final Fantasy II category, yeah, so you most don't see your Leon again. So I would say it's tier 3, maybe also forgettable. Yeah, just put it aside mostly. The next one is Leather Fort, and when it enters the field, you can reveal the top 3 cards and play one wind character with cost 5 or low onto the field. In a multicolor deck, it's not very good. Just forget it, put it aside, it's not worth it. Sit is a very interesting 4 CP backup, and you can just dull it and search for one backup of cost 1 and add it to your hand. So you can pick all your comments, all your fixing colors with one card, just your summoners, your just all your 1 CP guys. If you need a color, you can search it in your deck, so that's very good, and I would say it's tier 2, maybe also tier 1, so just keep an eye on that. The next guy is Paul, 2 CP, 4000, cannot be blocked by 3 or more, and if it deals damage to your opponent puts the top 5 of his deck into the break zone. So there are also some other 2 CP guys who can block Paul in the limited pre-release. So I think in constructed Paul is more worth, but in the limited it's very hard. If you can get some damage points with Paul, it's very good, because the mill 5 cards plus the damage point 6 cards can be very good. Maybe I would say it's tier 3, maybe tier 2. Just try it out. Next one are the wind rares, and the first one is Diablos, and you set one guy to 4000 power and draw 1 card. So you draw 1 card, so that's 2 CP worth. Second, 4000 power, so they are mostly in the limited in the limited play with only Opus 6 cards. There are no buffers. There are no buffs, they are incoming, and it's mostly a 4000 guy, and you destroy anything big guy, so keep an eye on that thing. Diablos is very good, and it's also rare, so just try it out. It's definitely worth it for the big guys if he wants to block. Very good combat trick. Next one is Pain. Yeah, your Gunwings cannot be chosen by summons. I would say it's maybe tier 1, but I think, yeah, it's the only one effect, so would say tier 2, 8000 is very good for full CP. Just try it out. Yeah, Fujin, yeah, in most cases forget it in the limited. Rainfern, 2 CP monster, and for 2 CP you can put it into the break zone and choose one forward of 9000 power or more and break it. Yeah, that's very good. You can remove the big guys, so keep an eye also on that. I would say something between tier 1 and tier 2, and yeah, this is it. Riku, 7000 power, 3 CP, sounds very good. All your Gullwing forwards cannot be chosen by abilities, also very good. Just tier 2. Moogle, yeah, nothing to say. Just forget it. And the Wind Commons. Cities, you are searching for just one job standard unit and add it to your hand. I would say this is a very good card for limited. It's tier 1. Now you're asking why it's tier 1. First, it's 3 CP, so you can choose a standard unit. So it's only then for 1 CP you get a card. Yeah, so 1 CP cities, also cool. Then yeah, EX burst, okay, very good. You get also something for mana fixing. You get all your 1 CP guys, your summoners, your evocateurs, and Yeah, all that thingies what you need for mana fixing. Also there are a lot of the big guy warriors, and there are a lot of forwards who are also standard units were also okay. So you get a big toolbox with Sid Haze, I guess. So and it's also common, so just look at it what all your standard units are, and you definitely say that's worth it. So tier 1 for me, in my opinion. And next one, White Mage, also very good. I would say tier 2, also good with 2 CP. You can remove something from the game. Yeah, but mostly it's not relevant. But maybe it can come where you want the biggest threat out of the game. Just try it out. Shinra, yeah, 4 CP expert sounds okay. Yeah, you get a Gullwing, but the most Gullwings are, yeah, they're rares. So maybe you didn't get some Gullwings, so it's then mostly tier 3. The next we get a monster with Zoo, and it's a 7,000 guy where you can pay for nothing, and if it attacks, you can choose one backup you control, activate it, and you can use it only once per turn. So 4 CP, 7,000, that's a bit low, but you can activate a backup, so that's very cool for dual colors, maybe for triple colors, so you can, it's very good for fixing, so just try it out. Maybe something between tier 2 and tier 3. Yeah, the other wind commons are the Chocobos or Mox. Yeah, if you get something, it's maybe tier 3, but in most cases I would say forgettable. So at next we get the Geomancer, and you put it into the break zone, choose one attacking forward, deal 4,000 damage. So this card is very good if it's active, and if it's a very good presence for your opponent. So you can deal 4,000 damage, you can deal maybe 2 for 1. Also it's a 2 CP backup, you get something for your backups, very good for fixing, just tier 2. Raptor is a 3 CP guy, 6,000 power, and if you control a category FFTA forward other than Raptor, Raptor gains 2,000 power, so there are not many FFTA forwards, but you can count as yourself. It's maybe worth it. Just try it out. I would say it's tier 3. So the Earth Legends are the next, and yeah, we get Manphilla, and you get 2 characters in your break zone and add it to your hand. That's very good. So it's mostly 4 CP worth. You can recycle your cards, and the best thing, it's very good for multicolor, because you can choose 2 characters, whatever which element it is. You can also pick your maybe lightning or dark forwards if you get something in your break zone. Maybe yeah, but it's very rare that you get this combo. So the second effect, don't think about that. It's very rare that you will see on the pre-release a light or dark character. But if it's happened, it's a nice bonus. So the second one is Leo, 1 CP 1000, and for each character you control, Leo gains 1000 power. So with 5 backups in the late game, it's a 1 CP 6000 guy, so that's very good. And the second one, which is very important, is backups you control will produce CP of any element. So that's very good for mana fixing, also with your 3, 4, 5 color deck. Very good, very important. So tier 1. Yeah, the Earth heroes are not so cool. Warrior of Light, 6 CP for 7000. You can play a standard unit a job standard unit of cost 2 or less in your break zone, from your break zone, play it to your field. Yeah, that's not easy, but hard to handle. I'm not sure about that. And if a job standard forward enters the field, it gains 2000 power. The last effect is special effect. Forget it. It's not cool for limited. You don't need it. You don't mostly play it. And 7000 for 6 CP. The first one with the break zone, it's a nice to have, but if you don't get it, it's a very expensive forward. So try it out. I would say tier 3. Next one is Ajido Marijudio with 5 CP, and you can select one of the following actions, and you can play one summon from your hand without paying the cost. So wouldn't say the highest expensive summon in the limited set is, I think, 4 CP. I think it's 5 CP, so it's the Titan. Yeah, but don't know if it's very good. And the second one is choose up to 2 summons in your break zone, add it to your hand. Yeah, maybe some recycling, but very expensive for 5 CP. So just look at your just look at your cards. I would say tier 3, maybe tier 2 if you get a lot of summons, so you can recycle a lot of summons then in your gameplay. Next one is Ishtola, and 4 CP 8000 is great, but his second effect is he cannot be a target or get damaged. Cannot be the target of opposing summons or abilities that don't deal damage. So completely removable. That there are no dealing something. So there must coming incoming damage for Ishtola. The second and the third, just forget it. It's very good, I would say. 4 CP 8000 removal can't break Ishtola, but if it's something with damage, so yeah, I would say it's worth it. Just try it out. I would say something between tier 1 and tier 2, mostly tier 1. The next one is Krill, another hero. For 2 CP, and yeah, 2 CP, choose one forward you control. During this turn it cannot be returned to your owner's hand by your opponent's summons or abilities. I'm not sure, because they are mostly the water cards, where you get your forward to your hand. And okay, 2 CP backup. That's okay for me. Try it out. I would say tier 3, maybe tier 2 also if your opponent, yeah, maybe. Next one are the rares. Epitai with searching some Crystal Chronicle cards. Can be good, can be bad. I would say tier 3. The next one is Titan, and I would say Titan is very good. It's like a removal. One forward of you gains 2000 power. You can deal this damage to another opponent forward, so maybe just smash it with 10,000, and it's EX burst, so totally worth it. Tier 1. Hulurk, you can look for a job warrior added to your hand. And if you control Leo, yeah, Leo is a legend card, so I don't think there's... Yeah, it's very rare to see these both guys in a combo, so I would say it's tier 3, because you can pick a warrior, and if you get a forward warrior, it's almost 3 CP 7000, and that's okay. A big plus is the EX burst, so yeah, why not? Cool. You can choose for a card a warrior, a very good warrior maybe. There are also the 5 CP fire warrior. I think he's a warrior, and yeah, I think also the water one. But yeah, I would say tier 3. Mart is the next one with 6 CP 8000. You can search for a monk. Problem is there are not so much monks, so can be maybe good. Not sure. Maybe card monk or maybe job monk. It's 6 CP, yeah, then it's 4 CP, 8000 worth. So I would say I would change it now from tier 2 to tier 3. Yeah, maybe it's more tier 3 than tier 2. Next one is Mushashu with 2 CP, and you play it as a monster, and for 2 CP you can choose one dial forward and break it. Yeah, very good removal. I would say it's tier 2, maybe tier 1, something between tier 1, tier 2, and the Mughal brothers. Yeah, you can review the top 5 card and add a Chop Mughal to your hand. Not cool. Also the second effect, I just put it aside. Next one are the Earth Commons. So we have Dark Knights 3 CP, 9000, and if he receives damage, the damage is increased by 4000, so it can be blocked by a 5000 guy, but it's a 9k guy, so if you can deal with some big guys, or it's also a very good blockable guy, just for the big guys, very good. You can do some very good trades there, so I think it's worth for tier 2. Scholar, yeah, you can choose for an Earth summon in your break zone, add it to your hand. Yeah, there is only one summon, I guess. There's only the Titan, so I'm not sure if it's worth. Just mostly put it aside. So, next one is Machinist 2 CP, very good for fixing, and for 4 CP, I guess, or 3 CP, and the dial effect, you put it into the break zone, choose one for the power 5000 or less and break it. Yeah, 5000 for so much costs, not sure, but cool for fixing 2 CP. Yeah, just tier 3. Gigas with 9000 power, but big problem, if it attacks, Gigas will not activate until your next active phase. Ugh. But now I know it's worth it for maybe tier 2 or tier 3, because you can block with Gigas and you get a 9k guy. That's a great wall for 4 CP. Yeah, I would say that's tier 2 worth. Just use Gigas as a blocking forward. Yeah, that's not bad. I have to change that. So Gigas is mostly tier 2 worth. Next one for the Earth summons, Earth Commons are Kate Sith, where you can cancel an effect from a summon. Yeah, maybe good, very good presence if it's active, so you can deal with it with your opponent. And it's good for mana fixing, just something between tier 3, maybe tier 2. Cactua, very good summon for multi-color deck. So you deal 4000 damage for each CP, for each different element you paid for Cactua. So with 3, 4, 5 colors you deal 8000, 12,000, 16,000 damage. So that's a great removal for 4 CP. So I would say tier 1. Pavlov's to buff FFCC forwards, but maybe cool for tier 3, because yeah, it costs 2 CP as a backup, but there are also some other backups which are more worth, so I would say just put it aside. Maybe you can put it too for mana for CP fixing. Yeah. Next one is Monk with 3 CP, 7000, and you can put it into the break zone with the dial effect and choose one dial forward, dealing 7000 damage. So it's a great removal, and it's a 3 CP guy with 7000 power. Totally worth it. I would say tier 1. Yeah, that's a very good card. Next are the Lightning Legends. 5 CP, 8000 with Estinien, and if you control 5 or more backups, he gains haste, so that's very good for a multi-color deck. He gets automatically haste if you get the 5 backups, and if it's blocked, you know it's like Matthias, and you can activate it again, and you dealing damage, and you trading all that good forwards if you want to pressure it. I would say this is a must-have card, tier 1. And the other one is Cypher with 6000 free CP. Yeah, legend. I know it's a legend card, but if it's blocked, well, it's blocked. You can choose one forward, it loses 2000 power, so it's, if you think about math, it's more like a 8000 guy with Cypher, and if Cypher deals damage to your opponent, all opponents forwards lose 2000 power. That's also very good, and your little weenies or that little guys with 5000 power or maybe 6000 power can now go through and maybe deal or trade with the big guys. So I would say this is very good and tier 1. Lightning heroes, yeah, Arashia, you can discard one summon, and searching for summons, yeah, there are maybe not much summons in your decks, but 2 CP also very good for mana fixing, would say tier 2. Kane, very good card, 3 CP, 9000, and only if a dark forward, and there is only one dark forward in Opus 6 that can come into the play, so it's mostly that free CP guy that you can't give to your opponents, so totally worth it. Tier 1, just play it, put it in your deck and smash your opponent. Next one is Fremelda, 4 CP, 8000, seems very good, and you can deal 4000 damage for each Sword Saint. Yeah, there's only one Sword Saint, and that's Fremelda, so you're dealing only 4000 damage. Maybe you can combo it, but also 4 CP 8000 guy, very good. Rickard is the next one with EX burst and 8000, and you can search for maybe Minyu or maybe Joseph, and yeah, he must block if possible. I would say that's okay, you can search it. Also EX burst, if you get some combos, I would say tier 2. If you get maybe Joseph, yeah, oh no, it's Joseph, so Joseph is not in Opus 6, so you can only search for Minyu, and he must block if possible, so I would say that's a very aggressive card. And EX burst, yeah, I would say 5 CP 8000, it's okay. It's okay. I would say something between tier 2 and tier 3, but yeah, just try it out. And next one, I would say Rickard is also a Dragoon, so it can be buffed by other Dragoons. That's also a big plus, so I would say it's more tier 2 than tier 3. Next one is Idea, where you can put it into the break zone and play just one job witch from your break zone and play it into the field. Yeah, you must put it into break zone. 4 CP is very hard. There's only one witch, and that's I think it was Ultimecia or Artemisia, and yeah, it's okay. I would say maybe forgettable or maybe tier 3 if you get the water forward, so you can recycle it. Estinian, yeah, 3 CP, it's something like Nimbus from the Lissier from Opus 3, and it can only be paid with lightning backups, so forget it. It mostly didn't come into play. Cypher, you can search for a witch, also the same, you can search for the water witch and add it to your hand. I would say more tier 3, morely forgettable. Next one is Dive Fern for 1 CP, it's a monster, and 2 CP, you put it in the break zone, choose one forward of cost 3 or less, break it, very good. A removal, 3 CP worth, very good. Just 1 CP and it's on the field, your opponent didn't know how to remove this guy, and yeah, totally worth it. If you're going more into control, into the mid-range, very good tier 1. Raijin is just a 2 CP guy. In most cases it didn't do anything, but if you play with Cypher and you can deal 8000 damage with a special, yeah, maybe if you control Cypher or Fujin was the wind guy, just keep an eye if you get Raijin or Fujin maybe 2 or 3 times. Yeah, you can try it out. And the last one is Ramu, where you can, just for 3 CP, you can break a monster, you can dull a forward with 4 or less, you can choose one active forward, deal 7000 damage, or maybe choose one lightning forward and gets haste until end of turn. Yeah, last effect is mostly forgettable, but the first 3 effects, you can dull something big, you can destroy a monster, you can dealing 7000 damage, totally worth it, and you choose 2 effects. Very good, tier 1. Lightning comments, okay, Elcid, 3 CP, when Elcid enters the field, choose 2 forwards, opponent controls, dull them, so that's like Shiva, 2 CP worth, and so you get an 1 CP backup. So yeah, very good, I would say that's tier 2 worth. The Black Mage, yeah, maybe you don't see anytime this effect in limited, may also in constructed, so forget it. Quetzalcoatl Coal, it's cool because of the plus 2000 power and the other lose 2000 power. It's very cool as a combat trick, and if you play it as an EX burst, the biggest problem is you buff mostly your highest forward to block after that. Yeah, and your opponent says, okay, I going end of combat and I going to main phase 2, so the EX burst is mostly not worth, but if you play it as a combat trick, it's very good, so I would say tier 2. Colossus is also a 4 CP monster with 0 CP effect, with it also becomes a forward with 7000 power, and you deal 1000 damage to all opponent forwards. That's mostly about 8000 worth. You can trick with some other cards, also with the ninja from the commons, so I would say 4 CP, that's totally worth it. Yeah, I would say it's tier 2. Next one is Ninja, so you can play it and choose 1 damage forward, deal it 5000 damage. That's very good because you can deal damage with your low guys, and after that in the main phase 2 you're dealing something 5000 damage. Active, dull, whatever, you play it and just 5000 extra damage, so you can remove some big guys. I would say this is very good. Keep an eye on that. And it's also 2 CP, so it's very good for mana fixing. The next one is Even, and it gains haste and cannot be blocked if your opponent has or have 3 or more forwards. So 5000 power for 3 CP is not good, but the effect with unblockable seems pretty nice, so just try it out. I would say tier 2. Next one is the Dragoon, and he's 8000 for 4 CP. That's very good stats for the CP. And if he enters the field, you choose 1 forward and it gains first strike at the end of turn, so you can buff something. And it's in a Dragoon, so it can be buffed by the next one with the 2 CP, so yeah, but mostly nothing happens. So 4 CP 8000, that's very good. You gain something, a little buff with first strike, so yeah, tier 2. Dragoon is 2 CP 5000 guy, and for each job Dragoon or maybe card named Dragoon other than him you control, he gains 2000 power, so mostly it didn't happen. So, but also 2 CP 5000 guy, that's very good, or maybe 7000 guy. So I would say it's something between tier 3 and tier 2. The next one are the Water Legends, and menu where you can search for one summon from your top 5 cards of your deck, and if you attack you can play a summon of cost 4 less and without paying its cost. So there are some good combos, Leviathan, Bahamut, so there are a lot of cards where you can play some good summons, but yeah, you know, there are not so much summons in that Opus 6. But it's also for CP 7000 if you get something and you can play something for free, some summons. It's totally worth it. So just play some combat tricks. Yuna is also 6 CP 8000, yeah, very hard to remove the summons into the breaks and from the game. Ooh. Mostly it didn't happen with the free summons. Remove it, plus 1000 power, but you can search for a Gull Wing and add it to your hand, or you can play it from your hand onto the field, and that's very good. Also the other Gull Wings are rares, not heroes, not legends, they're just rares, so it can maybe happen that you can play that combo, so I would say it's tier 2. It's also 8000. 8000 seems very good. Why not? Try it out. Next one are the water heroes, so I'm Eric with 9000 power, and he cannot receive damage that is less than his power. That's very great with a 9000 guy, and if he attacks all other guys you control, you gain 2000 power, and that's for just all the other colors. Very good, tier 1. Just pick it instantly for your deck. Shujin, nah, there are not so much great cards where you control something else. Yeah, just forget it. Scott can be very good with free CP, 4000. For each backup you control you get 1000 power. At the end you get a 9k guy for free CP. That's very good. And if you control Hilda, yeah, that's maybe a cool benefit. And yeah, you gain Brave also, so maybe just a cool plus for Scott, but mostly you want a full backup squad with 5 guys and play just Scott for free CP with 9k. Very good, very big forward, so definitely tier 1. And also just for the beginning it's okay if you have maybe 3 backups. It's also free CP 7000 with 2 CP, yeah, free CP, yeah. With 2 backups, just a 6k, maybe not so cool, but it's okay. Just tier 1. Hilda, you get some more cards for each forward you control. Not sure with that much removal, so also 6 CP, it's cost too much, so I would say it's tier 3. The water rares are very good. Ultimacia, the free CP 7k, very good for the stats, and you can dull 3 active forwards to choose one forward, dull it, so you can maybe control something with the big guys. And yeah, I would say that's it has potential, tier 1. And Tordan, also very good, 5 CP. You can search for one card, whatever you want, pick your best card, put it in your hand. That's very good. The second effect is not worth it, but it's also EX burst. If you get the EX burst, it's very good. You search for your best card and put it in your hand. Wow, just wow. Next one is Aiko, where when you play a summon this turn, Aiko just cost 1. Not sure, it depends how many summons you get in your deck, so I would say it's mostly tier 3. If you get more summons, it's possibly tier 2. So next one is that monster, that Draco monster. 2 CP and paying 2 CP and put it into break zone, just return something to the hand. Yeah, I would say maybe cool to get a big guy to their owner's hand, maybe for some cool effects. Not sure, but I would say tier 3. Leviathan, 3 CP, return something to its owner's hand, cancel some action ability, or maybe someone doesn't receive any damage, so you can protect also your commander, and 3 CP already worth its tier 1. Yeah, next one is Layla. You can choose one card Viking. Yeah, there is no Viking in Opus 6, so forget it. Not worth it. Water Commons, Sahagin, 3 CP, and you get until end of turn a 6k guy, and when he attacks you can draw a card, discard a card, so I would say this is very good. You can draw a card. And second one, you discard your bullshit card or your card who are not worth it. So just discard the bad cards and draw the good cards. I would say this is very good and just tier 2. Yeah, Summoner, I would say it's very good, because you put it in the break zone, you cast a summon for 2 CP less, so you can maybe a Bahamut playing for 2 CP, you playing a Titan for 3 CP, that's already worth it, and it's also a 2 CP backup. It's very good at the beginning for mana fixing, for CP fixing. It's also a standard unit, you can also search for it. Would say it's tier 2. Next one is Templar, 4 CP, 8000. Yeah, that's very good, and you can choose one forward if you dull him, and during this turn the next damage dealt to is reduced by 2000. So I would say this is also very good. You can protect something for a combat trick, summon, or a removal. Very good card. I would say this is maybe tier 1 as a common, but yeah, I would say it's okay. It's tier 2. Siren, you can buff a water forward plus 4000, but in a multicolor deck very hard to handle it. So yeah, I would say maybe tier 3, but mostly just put it aside. And we get the last commons here, Astrologican, where you can reveal your top card of your deck. If it's a backup, you can put it in the hand. If it's not, you put it in the break zone. The biggest problem is how you can get your maybe best card. You put it then in the break zone and you don't know how to get it into your hand, so this is very risky and don't pick it. I would say put it aside. It's maybe okay for the 2 CP for color fixing, yeah, but don't use the effect. Keem, yeah, maybe okay if you control Leo, but Leo is a legend, so very hard to find, and you can choose 2 forwards, one from your forwards and one opponent forwards, put it onto their hands. Maybe you can trigger something to play again another effect if your forward enters again into the field, so something activates. But 4 CP, I'm not sure. Would say tier 3, maybe tier 2. Just have an eye on that if you get something like Leo, or maybe some trigger effects if you play some very good forwards. Next one is Paladin, 5 CP, 8000, and if he gets damaged by a forward, reduce the damage by 4000. So I would say that's very good, so reduce damage, so you can mostly attack every turn, and your opponent must get a 9k guy to block it. That's very hard, and I would say as a common this is a must-have pick and just tier 1. The next one is Puget, where you can for 4 CP, yeah, it's an AX burst, and you can search for one prince. There are some prints in Opus 6, you can search yeah, just try it out how many princes you get, but in most cases just put it aside. Maybe tier 3 if you get some synergies or maybe some combos. So last but not least, we have also the light and darkness backups, where you can search for a light or the dark forward. I would say that's not worth it, because it's very hard to get the forwards because they are legends. But if you get both, you can put both in the deck. So if you get maybe a Valgir, you can play Materia and Valgir in your deck if you get both. If you get only Materia, just put it aside, because 4 CP just for a backup and it doesn't anything. But if you get Valgir or maybe Nidhogg with Spiritus, you can search for the card. That's very good. So put both cards in your deck, both light or both cards, both dark cards, and if it's not, just don't do it. But we have also the Lost Legends. We have Valgir, which have a lot of potential. You can get something from your break zone. You can remove the opponent's break zone from the game, but that's not worth it. It's mostly that you choose one character in your break zone and add it to your hand, and that's 2 CP worth. And so we can say it's a 4 CP guy with 9,000, and that's very good for its power creep. And I would say this is tier 1. Definitely play it. And the other one is Nidhogg, 9 CP, 9,000. That's a very bit expensive, and you discard one random card from your opponent's hand from the game. It can be a crap card, it can be a very good card, so don't know, but the second effect is very good. You can choose one forward opponent controlled and remove it from the game, so that's very good. You put your opponent's biggest threat and just remove it from the game. That's worth it. Mostly about 3 CPs. It's like a Dorgan of 3.5 CPs, so we are maybe at 6 or maybe 5.5 CPs. Also the discards, so we are around 4.5 or maybe 5 CPs for 9k guy. Depends on which card will be removed. But 9k is just okay. The biggest problem is, of course, that something like Leviathan, can trigger it. Maybe also Valgir, but Nidhogg costs a lot for 9 CP, so I would say it's morely tier 2, but I would also say something between tier 1 and tier 2. And that's all for you. Just be prepared for your pre-release. I know it's between the 7th and the 14th because of the Magic pre-release, you know it, and if you have some questions or if you have some good points that I didn't look at, just write it in the comments. You can subscribe to this channel, you can like it, whatever. I don't need it, but it's very good for that other guys or maybe some other people can find this channel out and can write about this video, so it should be worth that you can write your comment or maybe like this video. So thanks for watching and see you next time.